The island of Sumatra is home to some of the most unique wildlife on Earth. It is the only place in the world where you can find orangutans, tigers, elephants, and rhinos all living together. Our journey to Sumatra took several days of flying, driving through bustling cities and into the countryside, before we arrived at the town of Bukit Lawang, a gateway village just outside of the Gunung Leuser National Park. We were here to hopefully catch a glimpse of the critically endangered Sumatran elephant, of which as few as only 900 may be left.
Good morning from beautiful Bukit Lawang. We heard some really exciting news last night that there's a herd of elephants only a couple hours away. These are the critically endangered Sumatran elephants, which are very, very hard to find, but there's news out of some local villages that there's a herd of elephants out around there. And we're going to go over there this afternoon and see if we can find them. We're really excited because apparently there's a baby calf in this herd. That would be absolutely amazing if we could go ahead and photograph that whole family together. So hopefully we can go out there and see if we can find some elephants to photograph. Let's see.
We had quite the trek ahead of us from our lodge.
Breakfast is in the stomach. We're ready to rock and roll. Let's go find some elephants.
We had to leave Bukit Lawang and hop on the back of motorcycles for our journey. It was going to be about a 2 to 3 hour drive through palm oil plantations and the periphery of the national park.
So we are currently driving by motorcycle to get to where these elephants are. We have to go deep into a remote village outside of a palm oil plantation, and that's where these elephants were last seen. So this is the only way to get them. It's a pretty wild ride.
The sights of the hilly jungle landscapes, contrasted with the deforestation, made for a pretty depressing scene.
You can see the devastating effect that palm oil has had on the rainforest. It used to all be jungle and now it's plantation. All the animals that used to live here are gone, and now it's just people growing palm oil.
Sumatra's economy is run by palm oil, with gigantic burning mills dominating the island. Everywhere you go, you either see palm plantations or deforestation. It's hard to imagine any wildlife surviving here for much longer.
You know, I've always heard about the effects of the palm oil industry, but to see it with your own eyes is just horrifying is an understatement.
As we crisscrossed our way around the island, we eventually arrived at a nearby village where we linked up with our local guides to drive us into the plantation. We found our first signs of elephants, some elephant dung on the road going towards the plantation. We were going to have to ditch the motorcycles and look for the elephants on foot.
We're hiking through a palm oil plantation. The elephants have last been here about 20 minutes ago. So now we're looking for them, see if we can find them.
Navigating the trails here was tricky, but we pressed on.
So we found the elephants. They're very shy. These are not like African or Asian elephants that are used to people. They do not like humans at all. So we have to be very quiet as we move around and position ourselves.
Our guides continued looking for signs of the elephant, and after a bit of searching, success! A wild Sumatran elephant. We could only watch it from a distance, and it seemed cautious knowing that there were humans nearby, retreating deeper into the palm oil plantation when it could. These elephants frequently come into conflict with locals here, and getting too close on foot could be dangerous. As it moved, we continued to follow it. Our guides proved invaluable at following the signs of where the elephant was headed. It was a cat and mouse game with the elephant, with it constantly on the move to eat around the plantation, and us just trying our best to keep up. Eventually, it moved into an area that wouldn't be safe to follow, so we let it be. We continued scanning around for any other signs of wildlife. I thought I saw another elephant, but it was just a wild boar. So we're on the border between the national park and a palm oil plantation. We've seen one elephant, but there's supposedly 4 others around. So now we're just kind of scanning the border, the periphery here of the plantation, see if we can find any more elephants while we're here. Sadly, we didn't have any luck finding more elephants, and had to make our way back to Bukit Lawang.
Alright, we have just made it back after our long Sumatran elephant trek. It was honestly quite an adventure. having to go 2 hours by motorcycle to a very remote palm oil plantation where the elephant was. It was pretty crazy to get out there. But just a couple thoughts after doing that. I think from a conservation standpoint, it's really important to show local communities here that there's money to be made from wildlife tourism. That the jungle does not need to be chopped down for palm oil, because money can be made from the wildlife and bringing tourists out there to see the wildlife. And I think that's a really important thing that a lot of tourists should be supporting. From a photographic point of view, it was very challenging, trying to keep your distance from an elephant on foot just for safety reasons. But I think even if I didn't get the most amazing photos, I'm happy that I did it, because it really is a once-in-a-lifetime experience to see an animal that is so critically endangered. There are reports that there may be only as few as 900 left. So the fact that I was able to see one in the wild, not one that you see, at so many other sanctuaries, or you can go bathe with the elephants or ride the elephants around here. Lots of people do that, and it's really unethical in my opinion. But seeing one in the wild in its natural environment, I think is something that is a memory of wildlife tourism that I will always remember. It's just really cool to be able to see one out in the wild. So happy that I did it. Photos weren't amazing, but still really glad that I got to do it.
Thank you all so much for watching, and if you enjoyed this video, make sure to leave a like, subscribe, and follow me on social media for more. In the next episode, we trek through the jungle to find our next target, the Sumatran orangutan, so stay tuned.